day 2 of the 2020 NFL Draft. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar. No picks yet for the New England Patriots. They traded out of the first round for 2 picks in day 2, 1 pick in the second round and 1 pick in the third. On top of their 3 other picks in the third round. So, Evan, who are some namely guys that you can't believe are still on the board and the Patriots could possibly grab later tonight?
Well, 2 defensive players, I think it's pretty surprising that they're still on the board, and the Patriots might have read this thing perfectly and got their guy at 37 instead of taking him at 23. And the 2 guys are Xavier McKinney and AJ Epenesa from Iowa. Both of them, I believe, fell out of the first round because of subpar combines. We're talking about 2 players that tested below the 20th percentile at their positions at the combine and don't have the athletic profile of a first-round pick. But with Epenesa, he plays the position just like a Patriot. We've talked about him ad nauseum at this point for New England. Great upper body strength, run defender at the 5 technique defensive end, kick him inside on passing downs and have him rush the passer from there. Has great technique, great hand technician, hand fighter in the trenches with good leverage and good power in his frame. But he just doesn't have that eye-popping athleticism that everybody wants in a first-round pick. He's not a screamer off the edge. He's not a guy that's super fluid or quick and agile. So he's a little bit more of a plotter, a little bit more of just a sturdy presence there. I think that's why he's still on the board. Xavier McKinney, similar kind of thing, just a safety on the back end. He runs in the 4.6s. He tests in the low 20 percentile. And all of a sudden, we're still sitting here with him on the board at 33 with the Bengals on the clock. And I think the most surprising thing with McKinney is just when you watch the tape, it's a surefire first-round tape, right? It's a guy that plays all over the defensive backfield, safety, some cornerback, some box safety, some actually linebacker, true linebacker for the Alabama last year, and he really is just a playmaker at every level of the defense and a guy that is always impacting the game one way or another. So I think pretty shocking based on the tape that both those guys are still on the board, but the NFL tends to do this. They tend to knock some guys off the first round when they don't have those combine numbers that we all wait for.
And I think that the New England faithful would also like to maybe see some offensive firepower maybe picked up by Bill Belichick and the Patriots here in this second day of the draft. We know wide receiver, tight end, they need to address needs there. And hey, maybe this is the day the Patriots draft a quarterback. Jalen Hurts is still on the market. We've talked about how he could be a great fit for the Patriots. What are some offensive guys that you think the Patriots can get their hands on today?
Well, Hurts, Eason, Fromm, they'll all go off the board, I would think, by the end of tonight. So those are 3 quarterbacks that you can look for New England to maybe target or maybe not. But I think that those are guys that fit here and could be players that the Patriots are looking at. Now, at the skill position players, I think the first guy you got to start with is Denzel Mims out of Baylor. Now, I think the biggest thing with Mims, the reason why he's still on the board, is just a disconnect between the media and the league. The league was never as high on Mims as us draftniks were. So obviously he's still there on the board, and they kind of see him as a top 50 player, but a second-round pick, a guy that's going to fit in that 33 to 50 range. Terrific combine, 95th percentile, absolutely blew the combine out of the water, 4.38 40, 6.6 second 3-cone drill, one of the best 3-cone times at the combine this year. But he also has great production, 1,000 yards last year, 12 touchdowns for Baylor. Really a vertical threat, though. A guy that's more linear. He's not going to be that, quick jitterbug that's going to make cuts in and out of his breaks, but extremely dangerous as a vertical route runner, both on go balls and post routes. And the biggest reason why he's also very dangerous down the field is his catch radius. At 6'3", this guy can go up and catch anything around his area. You just throw it in the general vicinity of Denzel Mims, and he's coming down with it. So I think 2 things. I think, one, he's just a little bit too linear, I think, for a lot of NFL teams, where he's not that fluid in and out of his cuts, and he's not going to be that guy that's going to stop on a dime and really create tons of separation. And I think the second thing being that he's really more of a one-trick pony of, I'm just going to throw the ball deep to him most of the time. So there's not a ton of intermediate or short routes that he's going to be able to run. The other guy, Kmet, tight end from Notre Dame, it's hard not to mention him as well here. He would have been an absolute reach at 23. So it makes a lot of sense that if they were targeting a tight end in this draft, to trade into the top of the second round and get more value for that pick. Have need and talent to kind of align there, because you don't want to reach too high on a player. So Kmet, three things that he's very good at: a very big target, 6'6", 262 pounds, just a massive guy and rumbler between the numbers, a guy that you can just kind of throw it to and he'll body guys and box guys out. He's got some burst up the seam and some speed, a 4.7 guy who's got a good initial, what we call a flying 20, Sierra. Those first 20 yards, how fast is the guy moving? He's pretty good there too, and an effective blocker. He's got some technique things he's got to work out, but at that size, he's obviously a pretty effective blocker as well.
We'll have you covered all night long on our YouTube channel at CLNS Media. We'll have a live pre-draft show, 6:30 to 7, that leads you right up to the start of day 2. And be sure to check out all of our content as well on our website at clnsmedia.com.